Under this cover, there's an engine platform that is very near and dear to my heart. And before I reveal this channel's next build series, I wanted to sit down and tell you guys a little bit of a story. I always tell people my first true love in life wasn't my high school sweetheart or the teacher I had a crush on in junior kindergarten. No, for me, my first true love was my Galactic Blue Pearl 2001 Volkswagen Jetta, my first car. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a pretty big VW boy, more specifically a Mark IV VW boy. When I got my first car, I poured pretty much every dollar that I made into it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Looking back on teenage Tyler, ignorance really was bliss. But I didn't care because I was having the time of my life.
If a car makes you smile, then what else do you need, really? Like, that's why everyone drives around these slammed cars that are just like portions of inches to the ground, and everyone else is like, oh my god, how could you do that? And you see the guy behind the wheel, he's like, this is the most fun I've ever had!
Until one day, I wasn't. Yes, my dream car was taken, rendered unroadworthy, and because I didn't have any money at the time, I ended up stripping that car for parts and sending it to the scrapyard. So, what does one do when his first true love breaks his heart? He buys another one. This was my 2003 Urban Grey Metallic GTI, and this one was a little bit different because it was the first car that I had with a little bit of power. Once again, all of my money and free time was spent working on this car, and again, when it was done, I thought it was the coolest thing on the planet. It was so obnoxiously in your face that I'm surprised that this one also didn't get taken by the 5.0. And thus started the addiction. I bought another Mark IV, then another Mark IV, and over the years, between the cars that I bought and upgraded, and the cars that I bought for parts, I've probably owned about 30 of them. So, it's safe to say that I am pretty familiar with the platform, especially the engine that we're going to be working on today. So, without further ado, I present to you guys God's Motor.
I be on top car, I be on job, and I put it on God, they ain't nobody stopping me. Do the thing and it gets done properly, known for my honesty, not so much for my modesty. What's my policy? No remorse or apology, I am the wickedest, hungry. Show me where the dinner is. First place podium finishes. Man wanna chat about send, deliver it. Man wanna chat about work that they don't do. Not a joke if the man them approach you. Act like you know what it is when I roll through. Let me go back to the start. On job, no days off, man, I won't stop. Non-stop, drop fire, but I don't drop. That's why every boy, man, a man's on top. I was in a trap with a stacky. Them boy, they can't rap tacky. They love the trap.
Yes, that's right. We're going to be building a Volkswagen 1.8 turbo. I can't quite tell you why just yet, but I got some pretty exciting stuff planned for the near future with this engine. So, without further ado, there's not much we can do with this thing sitting on a tire. Let's get this thing hoisted up and put onto an engine stand. Alright, so now that we got this engine on the engine stand, we can go ahead and start breaking this thing down. I don't quite know why I condemn this motor. All I know is I know that this motor is no good, but it has been sitting on my shelf for a while, so I don't know why. So I'm hoping in this video we can take this thing down and see exactly why I condemned it as a bad engine. So without further ado, let's get you guys set up on a tripod and let's start ripping into this engine and see why I said this engine's no good. All right, I think the first thing that we're gonna tackle is taking apart the front of this engine, get rid of all these timing components, get rid of the timing belt, and so on. There she be, one stuck harmonic balancer. So I think we've discovered our first issue here. I actually went to roll this thing over and put it in time in order to see if it was in time. And I noticed that the belt was skipping on this bottom pulley here. And then I noticed the detensioner right here is fully collapsed. So let's see if this motor did in fact skip timing. I'm not certain that that's why I condemn this motor, but I guess we'll find out as we dig a little deeper. I don't think there's gonna be any coolant left in here, but just in case we got the bucket under here. Pretty much dry as a bone, just as I suspected. I'm pretty sure that there's no oil in this engine, but let's just confirm. A little bit left. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. The inside of this engine literally has rocks in it. Like, that is a stone. That is what I call a shopmate playing a prank on me and putting rocks down in my valve cover. Everything inside of here looks pretty clean though. Before I do this, I think it is safe to say that this motor is never going to run again. It's never going back together to run again. And the things that I do to take it apart, I would not advise if you ever want your motor to run again, or at least run properly. So I'm about to pry this camshaft out of here because it seems to be stuck. And this assembly should come out in one piece, like that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is right. The Volkswagen 1.8T actually has 3 intake valves and 2 exhaust valves on each cylinder, which is cool. Looks like a golf ball. You'll see when we take the head off. So let's get all these buckets out of here. Let's drop one on the floor, why don't we? Looks like these 2, where that water and corrosion got in, are a little bit sticky. All right, I think those guys are not coming out. All right, all that's left to do to get this head out of here and see if we got some bent valves here is take out these head bolts, which are, of course, a specialty tool. Luckily, I have that specialty tool because I've worked on a lot of these things. So this is a poly drive socket, and that is what the head bolts on this are. It kind of looks like a Torx, but if you use a Torx, you're gonna strip those bolts out so fast, and then you're in a pickle. So get the right socket if you're working on these things. Poly drive, they're pretty cheap. You can find them on Amazon. This one's probably a Chinesium one that I got online anyway, so, and it's done me well. So we're gonna need the big boy bar for these because they will be tight. Or at least they should be tight. They should be tighter than that anyways. That was actually pretty loose. So was that. So has somebody been in here and done a head gasket on this engine? I guess we'll find that out too. This one I cannot get to because there's a rock. Oh man. That one was a little tighter. That's a pretty good sign that the head is a little warped as well. Now we're going to be saving these. Do as I say, not as I do, as these are torque to yield bolts. So if you want your motor to work properly, never reuse these. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to flip this up and let you guys see. And tell me if there's any bent valves. How does she look? Black. Very black. Alright, let's take this over here. It looks to be a factory gasket. I don't really see any immediate evidence of a problem here. And even though dirty, I don't see any evidence in the cylinders themselves of problems either. As you can see, we've got some even darkness across these. If there was a head gasket problem, you'd see one of these pistons pretty shiny and not carboned up, because basically what the coolant's doing when it's getting into the cylinder is it's steam cleaning that piston, or the top of it anyways. And I also don't see any evidence of timing issues, skip timing, and if it did skip timing, there was no damage piston to valve contact anyways. So I'm not sure if that tensioner had seized up from it sitting for so long and then collapsed when we went to turn it over or what, but I don't see any issues timing wise in this engine. It's kind of the same story on the head side. Lots of carbon, and you can tell that this thing was more than likely burning some oil. Actually probably burning a lot of oil, which could have been a turbo issue getting sucked back through the intake, or of course oil getting past the rings. But let's go ahead and tear this thing down further and check what the bottom end looks like. Ooh. Well, that might be why I condemn this engine. That does not look good. Holy crap. I think that right there kind of tells us everything that we needed to know about the health of this engine. Obviously, at some point, either coolant or water or something got in and mixed with the oil. And then as soon as that happens, obviously the oil is not providing the lubrication that it needs to, and it wipes out basically everything else in the engine. That is my confidence to using this engine for the projects that we got coming up. If you guys haven't figured it out already, we're gonna be building this motor as a mock-up engine for a very special project that I got going on behind the scenes. I can't tell you quite what it is just yet. Just know that this engine behind me is gonna be used as, like I said, a mock-up engine. So basically the plans with this is to make it look really nice, to have something as kind of a display piece, and also a platform to do some testing and R&D, if you know what I'm saying. That's about all I can tell you for now. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested to see the process of getting this engine all nice and cleaned up and looking factory fresh, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.